This conference will now be recorded.
Of Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Item 1 is seating of alternates, and there are none. Review and approval of the April 6th, 2021 regularly scheduled meeting. Everybody read that one? Everybody got a copy of it and read it, I assume?
I went over mine. There's Peter.
Okay. Cheryl, you good? Cheryl? Cheryl, can you hear me? No voice, Cheryl. I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything. Rick, did you get a chance to read the April 6th meeting notes?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Cheryl, you good? If you're good with the April 6th notes, just okay, great. All right. So Rick, you want to make a motion to approve the minutes as written?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the April 6th minutes as written.
Okay.
And
Peter, you want a second?
I will second
Okay.
it.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. All right. Okay. Is Joe with us? Joe? Don't see Joe.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here, Lenny. I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're caller 1. Okay, good. Joe, we're at item. Yep. Sorry.
I just wanted to interject for you guys tonight when you're making your motions or speaking. It's really important that you announce who you are, so our new inland wetlands secretary can get the meeting minutes straight.
Yeah.
We had a problem with that last meeting because she doesn't know
Okay.
your voices and stuff. So
Okay.
before you speak, just say, "Hey, this is Len Ligori," and then you can say what you have to say.
Valerie. Hi, Valerie. Can you recognize my name, Lenny? My voice?
Yes, you're the chairman.
Okay. All right. So Rick Zulik, he made a motion to approve the minutes, and Peter seconded. Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Lenny?
Joe, any additions to the agenda?
No.
Okay. Item number 4 is old business. It's the June Norcross Webster Boy Scout Camp in the Ashford Center Road driveway construction. Joe, why don't you just bring us up to date? Well, let's see. We did have a wetland walk. Let's see. That was Cheryl, Lenny, and Peter. Okay. Gary did try to make it, but landed in the wrong location, I guess, and so he wasn't able to be with us. But so there was 3 of us. So Peter, you want to say anything about the walk?
All I can say is they seem to have done a good job of avoiding wetlands, and there is only one small crossing, you might say, and they promised to do the construction when the water has dried up. So I guess all in all, it seems like a decent project.
Yeah. I think it was very informative. I think he did a good job. He walked us through the entire route that the proposed road was going to take.
And this is Rick Zulik. Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but I wanted to recuse myself from this portion of the meeting, and that I did the wetland delineation for that project, so I'd like to recuse myself. And
Okay,
excuse me for interrupting.
So now we don't have a quorum, so we can't do anything on the project at this time. But we'll continue to discuss it.
Lenny,
Cheryl, you want? Yes,
can you hear me now?
barely.
Okay. How about
Yeah,
now?
yeah, that's much better.
Okay, I changed speakers, so I just wanted to check
Okay.
on that. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Cheryl, do you want to say anything in addition to Peter's report on the wetland walk?
No, thank you. I think that was fine.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, all in all, we followed the path. They did a good job, I believe, too, Peter. That it's in a location that makes some sense. We did look at how the land sloped. And we did have the set of plans that was provided to us so that we knew where we were at all times. So I guess that's our report for the wetland walk. So now, Cheryl, I just mentioned that we don't have a quorum at this point because Rick is not with us. So I do want to just mention a couple of things. One is that I did send the plan over to Sil Polly to take a look at. He was extremely busy this last month and never got back to us. So we'll have to wait for his comments.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
said,
Can't hear you.
Lenny, this is Peter, we probably should also add, your wetlands he is crossing does dry up in the summertime. So it's called of intermittent wetland.
Okay. Well, we'll let Rick talk to that. Valerie, what would you like to say?
my question is, you said you sent the plan already to somebody, and who was
Oh
that?
yeah, it's Sil Polly. He's the engineer for this region.
Okay.
That's spelled SYL.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's SYLPAULEY. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If you want his title, it's the Regional Engineer for Northeastern Connecticut Council of Governments. Okay.
Mhm.
So again, we have not heard back from him. Cheryl, you had a few questions. There's Mike D'Amato's here, right? Mike, is he?
I'm here.
Okay. So,
Well, okay, so I had some questions that I asked last time. However, I'm not certain that, given the fact that we don't have a quorum and we can't take any action on it, I'm not sure what value having having a presentation answering those questions would be without the extra
yeah,
person that's needed to vote on it.
yeah.
We'd have to just
I
do it
think
all over again. So,
would you want to just restate the main questions just so we have
uh,
them for next time?
sure. So I think a lot of the questions were actually answered during the meeting last time, and also I was able to satisfy some of my own questions about the project just by seeing the site. But the things that are still outstanding a little bit is
So I just wanted to clarify. I'm here for I work for the town. I'm not an applicant.
I know. Yep.
Oh, okay. I just
Yep. Go ahead, Cheryl.
okay. So the representative for the applicant is not here besides Rick, is that right?
Right.
Okay. So I don't know, Rick, if this will help you or not, because it was kind of engineering questions. Well, actually, there is one question that I think next time when we talk about it will be great, would be to talk about how the plantings alongside the roadway, which are identified on the plan and in the application as wetlands compensation. they're really, in my mind, they're really mitigation. So how those plantings will benefit the wetland or protect the wetland a bit, and also the appropriateness of the plantings, as far as the fact that they're wetlands plantings, but they look like they're going to be not at the elevation of the wetland, because they'll be sort of on the roadside, alongside the road and out of the wetland. So that was the main question I had with regard to the sort of environmental piece of it. And then there were some hydraulic questions with regard to, I asked about computations for the design of the outlet splash pads, which, weren't included in the hydraulic report, but which I'm sure that actually the engineer said would be available. So, but I haven't seen that yet. So.
So just to clarify, I think Cheryl, when we were looking at those the plantings there near the crossing, we were just concerned that whether or not they were gonna actually survive, and so we didn't want to require plants that would have a difficulty, in surviving, and we just wanted to make sure that they're plants that would do well in the designated areas. That's all. So, because it did say something about wetland plants, so that I think that was what we were talking about during the walk. That's all. Okay, Peter, do you have anything you want to discuss at this point?
I'm all set right now. That's all. Thank you.
All right, Joe, do you have anything more you want to add about the Boy Scout camp?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
You guys are at your 30-day mark, so you have plenty of time to make a decision. Yeah. You have next month or beyond that if the applicant wants to give you an extension.
Yeah. Well, are we still under the COVID rules?
Actually, I don't know the answer to that. Maybe I'm sure Mike knows, but I really don't know.
Yeah, till May 20th.
May 20th. What's that?
May 20th is the date in which all the governor's executive orders expire.
Okay. Huh. So that means that we really don't have a lot of extra time then on this one, right?
Well, you have your next regularly scheduled meeting, and then if the applicant wants, he can give you an extension of 35 days beyond that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's just keep that in mind, Joe, for next meeting, so we don't get caught. Okay. All right. So Valerie, if you could maybe just make us a short note that the governor's executive orders regarding extension of wetland permit application deadlines it will expire on May 20th, 2021. That's all. Okay.
So just to clarify, I don't want to misspeak. The executive orders expire on May 20th for virtual meetings. So it just means that, all of those things that happen here as far as the extensions, the notifications that were relaxed, all of those things expire. Your timeframes are still the same. You just don't have that additional 90-day COVID extension that the state gave.
Exactly. That's what we're. So, Mike, are you saying that we should be have in-person meetings next month or no?
Technically speaking, unless there are a few bills before the legislature now that would allow for hybrid meetings to continue, if none of them are approved by May 20th, as of May 21st, it would not be legal to have a virtual meeting.
Okay. All right. So could you just let us know on the 21st what happened, and if we're going to have in-person meetings? That's important.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Okay. Anything further on the driveway construction? No? Good. Okay, let's move on to item B, which is the 3 floating road pond construction. So Joe sent us a bunch of information here. Joe, why don't you go over it quickly, what we've been given so far?
Okay.
Please.
Well, you guys have what I feel is a complete application. You have an application filled out, signed. We have a fee. Mr. Gronis and I helped him mark up a couple of an aerial photo that shows 3 floating road in the general area where the pond is proposed. He included a sketch, a pencil sketch of the footprint of the pond, which is approximately 70 feet wide, 70 feet long. About 80% of the pond is being proposed in a wetland, which is actually a more of a marsh, and then about 20% of the pond is proposed within the upland area. The idea behind that is he wanted to stay below the 5,000 square foot threshold. He diagrammed a staked hay bale dewatering basin if the pond needs to be pumped out. We also have a section view of the pond from 2 different directions, showing the overall depth of the pond, the side slopes, which appear to be 4 to 1, so that they're gradual slopes. And then I scanned in a portion of a survey that was done for the property. I actually have the whole survey. I was not able to scan that in, but it's actually just a survey by Landmark Survey for the 3 floating road property. And that shows, again, the footprint of the pond, and he diagrammed two places where they say stockpile, and those are the areas where the excavated materials that wouldn't be used to build the berm around the pond would be placed to dewater, so they could be hauled off of the property. So the area of wetland disturbance for the proposed pond is 4,930 square feet, and they are estimating roughly about 1,100 cubic yards to be removed, and the schedule for the planned activity is in late July.
Okay.
So that's about the basic synopsis of the project. As far as the site is concerned, it's a very level area where the marsh is located, pretty much flat as a pancake. He has silt fencing diagrammed around the perimeter of the site. I guess that's about all I have.
Okay. Amy Gronis, I'm sorry, is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes, I'm here with my husband, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. So could you guys introduce yourself for Valerie, please, so she can get your name in the record?
Hi, Valerie. My name is Amy Gronis.
And Charles Gronis.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your plans, Charlie or
Yeah,
Amy?
I just would like a little pond, just so we can enjoy with the dogs and grandchildren, and maybe put a little fish in there and just take care of that part of the pond. It's pretty close to Sable Pond, like 70 feet, 75 feet away. And I'm planning on building a berm out around there. And
is this something that you plan to do, or you have a contractor?
I'm going to have a contractor do it.
Okay. And the contractor, what's their name?
I'm hoping on Mike Krukoff.
Okay.
And It depends on his schedule because he does a lot of paving around the area, so we'll have to work around his schedule. But
Right.
he said in a timeline of probably 2 to 3 days,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
hopefully he can get that trenched out, keep ahead of the water coming in.
Yeah. Okay. And so I guess there's some history in that area. You've lived at this location for a long time, I guess.
Yes, yes. 20 years, 21, 22 years.
Hmm.
No, actually, we've been here 18 years. When I built the house, 19 years, I started building the
Okay.
house. And but my grandparents owned this property since the 40s.
Right. And was there something in that location before? Was there a pond there, or something, or?
Just the outskirts of the pond, the Sable Pond. It's sort of like the marsh towards the side of it. The
Uh-huh.
beaver flooded it out a few years back, and the beaver have moved on, so it's kind of low right now.
Okay.
We have a couple of dogs that are water dogs, and for them to jump into Sable Pond could be dangerous with all the spikes left from the beaver. So we'd like to have a nice, clean pond for our family and our dogs.
Yeah. Now, is that Sable Pond? Is that on your property too, or not?
I own probably about a third of it.
Okay.
My property goes into Sable Pond a little bit on the
I
back
see.
corner.
Okay. All right. So
I own down to the dam on just to my side of the dam on Sable Pond.
yeah. So Joe, this is a new application, right?
Yep.
So we're just accepting it today.
Yes.
I'll go around the room and you guys can ask some questions, and then we can decide whether or not we need a walk. So let's start with Peter. Peter, do you have any questions, general questions at this point?
The only thing I want to know is, does this meadow dry up in the summertime?
It pretty much does. There's wet. There's lump grass in there,
Okay.
but you can walk on it definitely.
I assume you'd be doing this with an excavator then, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
Okay. Cheryl, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, my thought is from looking at this that I believe that we need an actual site plan, not just a sketch, because we really don't have any idea what the actual limits of the wetland in this area are. We just have a drawing that was done on a property map. And I believe that we need an environmental analysis on this. Generally trading marsh for open water is a pretty significant impact to a wetland. So I think we need to have someone characterize this wetland for us and tell us whether or not adding open water here is an acceptable impact. And also the fact that there's already a water body right nearby doesn't really add to my feeling that it'll enhance the wetland at all. But I do think we need to have a report by a wetland scientist, and we need to have the wetlands mapped. I also think, in accordance with our regulations, for every application, there needs to be an alternatives assessment that talks about meeting the applicant's purpose or desire by with less with less or no wetland impact. So that's actually required. So when the application is presented at the next meeting and we talk about it, I believe that those things are going to be necessary. So just my 2 cents on that.
Okay. Rick, you're quite a pond builder. you know, you've owned a few and you've built a few.
Yeah, I
What are
built a
your
bunch.
feelings about this?
Well, I did I think that these sketches and the information that was provided answered these questions, but just for clarification, I want to be certain what Mr. Gronis's intention is in terms of the building of this pond. I mean, one can dig a hole in the ground and make a pond, or one can put a dam up to make a pond. I know this area is very flat, so I'm assuming that there's not going to be a dam. However, there was some discussion today about building up a berm around the edges, and I wanted to better understand what that berm's purposes might be. And I wanted some absolute clarification on whether there was going to technically be a dam or not.
Yeah. Okay. Joe, do you have any further remarks about it?
No, I did actually use the word berm. I'm not actually sure myself what they're intending the perimeter of that pond to be. Most of the basin style ponds that I've seen done in other towns, there is a small 2 to 3 foot high berm that circles the pond. Obviously, in this situation, it's it's an emergent / marsh type habitat there. So if they wanted to be able to walk around that pond, particularly when, like this time of the year when everything's fairly well inundated, they would need some type of berm to walk around. Otherwise, they'd be wading around in 3 feet of water. I don't believe that a dam needs to be built. Like I said, the hydrology there, it's very level, very flat. So whatever basin they dig is going to fill with water, and the hydrology will be there year round to support the pond. But yeah, there should be some detail explaining that. I see Cheryl's point as far as the diversity of habitat. There is, Sabo Pond, which does stay inundated. I know in years past, this area was originally inundated. Is basically succeeding. Every year that more organic matter falls, this area keeps getting built up, and it's becoming more marsh. I'm sure in another 100 years there'd be a forested wetland eventually. But that's all I have at this point.
Okay. So Joe, one other thing. So you had mentioned a while ago that you've seen ponds being built in other towns that you're working with, similar to these. They've been successful.
Yeah, and the town of Chaplin in the last year we had 4 different various pond applications, everything from the dredging of existing ponds to creation of new ponds, either for the agricultural exemption under Section 4, or just residential ponds. And again, the big thing is evaluating the wetland impact and deciding, whether or not it's going to be, add to the diversity of habitat by giving you open water, or a fish population that, that there's obviously no fish population in the marsh as it is, but I'm sure there's a fish population in Sabo Pond. So I don't think it would be a bad idea to get some information, like Cheryl pointed out.
Okay, and that's pretty typical of what you've seen. Other applicants have had to basically provide that sort of information to help the commission to decide on.
I mean, in other towns we've required a report from an engineer if water control devices are being built, like short dams or outflows, where you need to calculate the flows or sizes of culverts, that type of thing. I don't think that's the situation here. It's just because of where the water level is going to be, there's not going to be an outflow where if the pond fills up, it's gonna be at the same level as the marsh around it anyway. But
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we've had some experience. I think we built. I think there a pond built right across the street from Ray Fenn, more or less, along 89 a while back. And then John Bash, I think Rick, you worked on that one. John
Yeah, I
Bash,
did.
I think
Yep,
we
I did.
approved a pond there.
Yep. Yeah, that came out.
So yeah, so it's not. So building a pond is not unusual, to say the least. Okay, so now a question is, would everybody like to do a site walk? I think it'd be important on this one, no?
I would definitely recommend a site walk on this one. Yep.
Okay. So Amy, what would be a good day and time for you guys to allow us to come and just view the area?
We're pretty open anytime after 4 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
Well, we can make it to your convenience during the day. Amy's off of work right now, and I could take some time to meet one on your guys' convenience.
All right. So, trying to think. I'm gonna be away the rest of this week, unfortunately. But how about say next Tuesday? Would that work?
I'm good next Tuesday.
I got a doctor's appointment at 2.
Okay. Yeah. I think the last one we had was like at 5, maybe. Or Cheryl, what time was convenient for you that time with the Boy Scout camp?
It really depends on the day.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, I lead an adult program.
Okay.
In the evening, so I wouldn't want to be any later than 5.
What about tomorrow? Because I can. Yeah. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
They're not going to rain, I think, this week.
So no for tomorrow, Cheryl. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's going to rain tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm going to walk in the rain, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can only do afternoon.
I'm booked for the whole day tomorrow.
Okay.
Next Tuesday's okay by me.
All right. How about Wednesday next week? Does that work for anybody?
I'm good for Wednesday.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, and what time?
How about 4 o'clock?
Yeah, that'd be good for me.
4. Yeah, I got 2 yeses. Rick, 4.
We're good for 4 o'clock.
Okay. All right. So let's just say we'll meet at 3 Floating Road, 4 o'clock on Wednesday, and if you can make it, that would be fantastic. Valerie, is it possible to send a message out to the members that aren't with us tonight to just tell them about the wetland walk for Wednesday, please? Okay.
And we also have to public notice it as well.
Yeah.
Last time.
We got 24 hours to do it, I guess. So, Joe, you're going to post it?
You want me to post the agenda like last time?
Yeah, for the wetland walk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Anything more? Anybody on this one? No. Okay. Good. All right. Let's move on to item number 5, the codification of the inland wetland regulations. And Mike, since you're the author of this, you want to run through it with us real quick?
Sure. So the town is in the final stages of going through the codification process for all of our regulatory language, planning, zoning, wetlands, and then all ordinances. And through the process, we're not revising anything. We're simply bringing everything together in one sort of final document, if you will, and these regulations will be an appendix. Through the regulatory review process that happened both by General Code, which is the company that's doing this through the grant we have, and you may have heard of them, they produce the ICC codes that the building department, the building officials use, as well as a review by Halloran Sage, the town's attorney. There was one piece that was picked up that is, there's a sort of a discrepancy. The history behind it, from what we've been able to gather, Sherry did a bunch of research, is it looks like when the state originally came out with model regs, at the time they tried to sort of put some Ashford flavor into it, and there was some stuff that didn't get carried over properly. So there's essentially they sort of have the two options there, which I've laid out. And again, it's believed that this was just a carryover issue, which is why we're not doing the whole hearing referral to deep, because it's essentially fixing an error that's been on the books for really quite some time. And we're trying to move forward. And the next step will be to take these final documents as approved by Inland Wetlands, as approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission, which will ultimately be codified. I believe it has to go to either the Board of Selectmen or town meeting.
Okay. So I read through both of them. I prefer option number one. Cheryl, I know you read through it. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I did read it, and I thought that option number one provided some good good language that clarifies for everyone the activities that we review. So so I would go with option number one as well.
Peter, did you get a chance to look at it?
Yeah. Now, are we asking to add this to our regulations or what?
Yeah, so basically what they're just going to do is they're going to modify section 3.5 with the addition of the language that's underlined and bolded. It's just one sentence.
Okay.
So it's not a big change. It's only to that one section, and it's only that one sentence. But I do think it helps. So.
And I guess, the way that it's currently, if you look at option two, there's it's proposed to strike the words "is a regulated activity." Those are the way that it currently reads. And so it's a little bit strange in the way that the sentence is kind of constructed. So their suggestion was either remove that piece because it's unclear, or actually include the language that comes originally, which actually describes the regulated activities so that it's clear based on the definitions what the activities are. It was a little bit misleading.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rick, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I looked at them and I thought option number one was a good choice.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like we're in agreement. So if you guys look at the last page, it gives you some suggestions for motions, for our consideration. Cheryl, did you take a look at the language there and motion to approve option one? Did you see that language, Cheryl?
Yeah, I actually I'm just reviewing it
Okay.
right now.
Take your time.
Quickly. Yeah. Right. I think I don't see a big difference between option one and option two motion.
Well, one says we're going to,
One says
you know,
clarify the upland
option
review
one.
area. The other one says strike
Yeah.
redundant language. Yeah, I like the motion to approve number one. Do you want me to make that motion?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I move to approve the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency regulations with corrections as submitted by General Code and reviewed by the town's attorney to clarify the upland review area effective upon publication following final approval at town meeting.
Option one.
Correct.
Just want to make it clear it's option one.
It is option one, but it says to clarify the upland review area.
No, I mean, so your motion is to approve option one of the inland, you know, that's all. I just want to add, just put in there that it's option one. We don't have to read the whole option if you don't want to, but
Well, I think that
you want to read that into the minutes, or just leave it as option one, as talked about in the April 27th, 2021 letter to our, you know, our commission from Mike D'Amato, zoning officer.
right. I think that clarification is fine.
Okay. All right. Rick, you want to second that?
Yeah, I'd like to second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
All right. Okay. And then, agents report. Joe, anything, I guess I did want to ask you if there's anything going on at 96 Knott Highway.
I have not gotten any notification from them yet that they have started their activity, but I will check with them.
Okay.
I have been in contact with 21 Lakeside Drive, R&M Holdings. They're going to be starting the demolition of that existing cabin, whatever you want to call it. So they're going to be. We actually had a site walk, pre-construction meeting this morning. And the only other thing I have is that I did regarding the application at 33 Amadon Drive. I did receive a request from Kay Warren wanting whatever recent application materials were submitted. This isn't the first time she's asked for that. In fact, back when you guys were deliberating the application, I sent her hard copies of the whole thing. And she had an inquiry as far as who was going to be supervising the site work. I basically explained that I will be doing periodic inspections for E&S measures, but I'm not the person that's going to be out there supervising or telling people what excavators or telling people what grade should be what or anything. But I just wanted to be clear on that. But I will be monitoring the site on a regular basis. Okay,
so you've responded to her written request for information. That's all.
I did. I sent her an email, and I stated that one, she already had application materials. It really didn't change, and then any other stuff was available on the town website. So
very good. Okay,
yep.
Is that the end of your report?
That's all I have, unless somebody has something they need me to look at, or somebody spotted something I don't know about.
The only other thing I was thinking of was that if you still have that ongoing list of outstanding permits, if
I did.
Share that.
I actually worked on that today. Unfortunately, the most revised list is not in my computer. It's in what used to be Beverly's computer. So the new lady that does all the administrative stuff in the town hall there, she was out today. So, but the next meeting I can give you an updated. What it is basically is a permit list that states the address, the applicant, the effective permit date when it was issued, when it expires, and the status. You know, if I can dig them up, see the status of the different projects, whether they're currently ongoing or whether they're finished or completed or what.
Great. All right. I think that would be helpful. Any other members have any questions, comments?
No, except that I will be very happy to go back to in-person meetings so I can see everybody's face.
Yeah.
It's hard to, it's hard to hear, and we have technical issues, and it's
Yeah.
difficult to, to read that we're
Yeah.
reading the same plan sheet. So it would be really, really great if we get back to in-person meetings. I've been vaccinated, so we're good.
Yeah. I think
I
just
will
about
second
everybody I
that.
know. Yeah.
It's time
Okay.
they went back.
All right. So that's the end. Would anybody like to make a motion to close the meeting?
I'll move. It's Peter.
Okay.
Second. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you, everybody. So we'll see you Wednesday. Okay, bye now.
Bye-bye.